Okay, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Just getting everything set up. Happy Tuesday tips from the top. This is me and Tara's like favorite day ever. You guys, we do so much recording on Tuesday, and
Yeah,
I always feel like Tuesday, like I always have stuff to do on Monday, but Tuesday is like the start of my week. You know what
I
I mean?
feel like
It's
that
like
too.
we have so much that we do, and I love Tuesdays. So I hope that you guys are blessed. I hope that you've had a great week. I can't believe that we're already done with Q1 and well into Q2 now.
Absolutely insane that we're in April already and my daughter's going to be 19 at the end of this month. Like, what?
Like, where did the time go? I have no idea, but time flies when you're having fun. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I
But
agree. There's so much coming up, and I feel like when you have so much to look forward to, and I'm somebody that would really like for time to slow down because my kids are getting really grown really quickly. So it's funny because I'll be like, oh my God, I can't wait for like things that we have coming up. And then I'm like, wait, no, I'm excited for that, but I can wait for that. Like, don't come too quickly because then when that comes too quickly, then before you know it, it's like July and then it's August and then it's freaking Christmas again. And it's like, whoa, stop, slow down.
I know we bought concert tickets to like a really big show that we're so excited for, but it's the end of September, and I keep catching myself being like, September needs to hurry up, September needs to hurry up. But then I'm like, that's like the end of the year. Like, no,
Yeah,
don't hurry up. We have too much to
no.
do. But I don't know. Time is such a weird thing. And I always go back to like Tony Robinson's quote when Robbins quote when he said, like most people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade.
Yes.
Like we can do so much in a decade. It's actually crazy. But then you think about the year and it's like, oh, we're gonna do all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden, the year goes by so fast. And then you compound a couple of those though, and it's like, holy crap, you can do
I
so
know.
much. Your life can change so much. So yeah. Anyway, you guys, before we hop into the topic of today, I just wanted to make sure that we were actually live. Um, if you are not already inside of On the Daily, I literally don't know what you're doing. You guys, I have been going ham in that container the
He
last couple
has.
times that I've been in there. Like 30-minute voice trainings, 21-minute voice, 27-minute voice trainings, like on everything ranging from kind of what we're going to talk about today, a little bit of embodiment. I did a whole recap on how to like understanding full moons, new moons, eclipses, and retrogrades
Yes.
because someone was asking about it. We talk about everything under the sun inside of that container. So if you're the kind of person where you're like, I need people in my ear every day to kind of keep me motivated, to
Yeah.
keep me in alignment, to keep the energy good, the energy pure, you want to be inside of that container with us. It is a 90-day container. We've already been in what, well over a month, because I think we started in February for that
Yeah.
90-day, right?
Yeah.
So actually over a month. So there is hours of training for you to currently go in and binge everything from content creation, marketing, branding, positioning yourself the right way, how to tell if your audience is hot, mindset, being a mother and balancing business, manifestation, energetics, literally anything, everything is nothing is off limits. So we just go deep on everything that we have learned and that we're also currently going through as multi seven figure business owners. So you're going to get an array of things. So if you want us in your ear every single day, that is the place to be. So with that, Tara, do you have any other announcements that you want to hit before we get into today?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna also mention on the daily and then also Playbook to Millions has been completely popping off. We are just so obsessed and about to be coming up pretty soon on, adding a few more modules to it. So you definitely want to hop up in there and, give it a whirl as far as your marketing, your sales, your content, your ideal client avatar, making some extra money, right? Like if you want a way to bring in an extra stream of income and, you would like to build a business online, you're not really sure what type of digital products to sell or what type of coach you'd like to be. This is a great way to start because you're going to start learning how to market, how to sell, how to talk things content, how to branding, and then you will start to find the thing that you feel most passionate about and then you want to learn more about. So it's a great place to start and to start earning some extra money. So you could go ahead, click the link down below and get yourself into our community. I mean, it's just been absolutely incredible. So yeah, with that being said, let's get started with today's episode.
Yeah, so today, you guys, we're going to be really talking about embodiment. And I feel like we have this conversation pretty often, but it's literally like the secret. Like, when you're looking at people who are successful online and you're like, they have access to the same thing that I have access to. How come they're getting the results that I want to get? It
Yeah.
all really come like the secret when you're like, what secret sauce do they have? What secret do they know? What are they being taught? Like the secret is embodiment and embodying
Mhm.
the version of you that already has the reality and the results in the life that you currently desire. So we have to remember like the bare basic thought is if you behave and think and act like the version of you right now who has exactly what you have, but yet you think it's going to create a different reality, this is where like the disconnect is happening. If
Yes.
you want to make 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, $30,000 per month, yet you're still behaving like the version of you still have the same thought patterns, the same beliefs, the same everything as the version of you that currently has what you don't want, you're never going to be able to attract the things that you do want. This is why I actually saw a quote the other day that really stuck with me because it's like, duh, but she was just like, wealth is a mindset.
Mhm.
Wealth is not just all of the things you can do to attain wealth, but it's literally a mindset that you have to acquire. And it really hit with me. It was like, that's embodiment, right? Embodying the wealthy version of us, embodying, who we want to be is like, we have to start thinking different, acting different, believing different. Like the people who have the lifestyle that you want, they are different, not just in the actions that they take, not just in the way that they create content or the way that they show up on social media. It's the way that they think, the way that they behave, and the way that they move. And I think people miss
100%.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. Last night I did a call with my team and it doesn't matter. Every time I do a Q&A, this always comes up where people will say, you know, I feel fake in my business if I'm talking about, being successful or having success or sharing other people's results to at least show that there is social proof and people are having success in this business. And I have to explain to them that, what how it works is like we get so fixated number one on ourselves and our own results, so we're thinking like, well, we don't have any results yet, so we don't know what to show. And it's like, well, first of all, everybody starts at zero. Every business starts at zero no matter what, but people start their business because they have a belief that this business will be successful, right? And so people start to play small because they're worried that people are going to view them as, well, they're just getting started or they haven't had success yet. And it's like, well, nobody knows that but you, right? Or they'll say, well, I don't really know how to show up as that person, right? Because we're always like, well, if you were already making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, get into that energy. How would you show up? How would you post? How would you talk? How would your posture be, right? And so something that I want you guys to think about is we already wear different hats and step into different personas, right? So when you go to your 9 to 5 job, you are going to show up as the professional version of yourself. You're not going to talk, you're not going to be like, brah, like at work, like if that's what you say when you're hanging out with your friends or whatever, right? You're not going to say that. You're not going to wear what you would wear to your, out with your friends on a Friday night. You're going to put on your professional attire. You're going to speak professionally. If somebody, says something that's not very kind, you're not going to pop off at them. You're going to hold this persona as the professional version of yourself, right? So you're already doing that. Then when you're with your parents, no matter how old you get, you still are going to act like your parents' child, right? There's some people that don't swear in front of their parents, even they're 45, 50 years old, and they still don't swear in front of their parents because they still act like, their parents' child. When you're with your friends, you put on, your silly, your goofy, your bold, your, whatever hat. When you go on a first date, right? You might put on like your sexy, seductive, feminine vibe, energy. that you put on because you want them to see that I'm turning on my, feminine energy and, all that good stuff. So
Oh my
you're
God.
already doing it.
There's this lady there's a couple girls actually on TikTok that are so funny. They're doctors, but they love EDM concerts. So they post videos about how like they're doctors and they're in their white coats and they're doing that. And then it's the transition and they're like in their rave outfits, like
Yeah.
all fun, getting down at a rave. Like those are two very different people.
Completely two totally different worlds, right? So you can totally embody the business version of yourself and how you show up and, how you want people to perceive you as this professional version of yourself because there's no such thing as like being like you have to act like you're new or you have to act like you're successful. No, you just need to show up as the person that knows what they're talking about, right? It's the faith it till you make it type thing. Most of us, I would say, if you're a mom and you're watching this, drop me a 1 in the comments if you feel me on this. But 9 out of 10 times when we go to have kids, we are not ready to have kids. Like, we're not. Even if you're planning for it, like, you're still nervous to, like, I'm going to be responsible for this human, right? So as the second that baby comes, like you're jumping into mom mode, but you've never been a mom before.
Yeah.
So now you're jumping into mom mode. So I want you guys to not put so much emphasis on embodying your business because that's only but holding you back when it doesn't even need to. I think we're like people just make it such more of a big deal because they put the emphasis on not having earned money from it yet or how much money they've earned from it yet on how they should act. And money should not be the way that you act. It shouldn't change the way that you act, right? You should already want people to perceive you as somebody who's knowledgeable, professional, helpful, respectful, whether you've made $0, $5, or $50,000.
Just to remember, like money just amplifies who you are. So
Yep.
you're not gonna that's what people think. They're like, once I make $10,000 a month, I'm gonna be a whole new person. And it's like,
Yeah. But you're not.
like, but no, but it's like, but you hear me talk about, I'm a whole different person than I was 3 years ago, but that was a gradual evolution. It wasn't just like I made $10,000 a month and then I was the version that I am now. It's like
Yeah.
growth and evolution over a lifetime. So there's never going to be a moment where you hit a goal and you're like, that's when I can start behaving and I'll become that version that I want to be. This is like the catch 22 that people get really mixed up is they're like, well, once I have the money and the results, then I'll start acting this way. And it's like, that's not how it works though. It needs to go the other way around. Same thing when people are like, well, once I have more money, then I'll start the business. It's like,
Right.
no, you start the business because you need more money. And then
Yeah.
you
Or once I have more time, then I'll start the business. Like, no, we're
start the
starting the
business
business
to
so we can
create.
have more time. Like,
Exactly. So it's like this catch 22, but we've been taught in like as we've been growing up to like be safe and like not take risks. And we've been
mhm.
conditioned to play small is all it is. It's not
Yeah.
it's because the wealthy take risks. That's why they stay wealthy. They don't want you to take risks because they want to stay wealthy, right? They
Right.
want all the money. So it's like we've been taught and conditioned to believe this way for a while, but it's like you have to start embodying the version of you before you can even bring the things into your 3D reality that you want to bring in. And then we have to remember, like, I always think about a brick and mortar, right? Say you want to open a coffee shop slash bookstore. You open this beautiful brick and mortar. It's not like people are walking by and then your first customer walks in. They're not going to be like, have you sold a book yet? No.
Right.
Okay, I'm out. Like,
Right.
must not be worth. Oh, have you sold a cup of coffee yet? No. Okay, must be crap coffee. I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense, right? Or people
No.
who go on Shark Tank, right? They go on Shark Tank. Well, I mean, hopefully a lot of them they do have sales, but I don't know if anyone watches Shark Tank. Sometimes I go through phases where I just binge that show. I love
Yeah.
watching
I've
those
seen
ideas.
it a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but most people go in and it's like some of them they just have a proof of concept. They're just like, I
Right.
have the greatest thing since sliced bread. People just need to see it, and I need your help with the money so that people can see it. Great idea. Let's invest into it, right? It's not like the results then equate the value. So we have to remember that like everyone's perceived value is different. And
Mhm.
so what you are thinking, like
No
you
risk, no reward.
No risk, no reward. And your perceived value of yourself is a hell of a lot smaller than other people's perceived value of you. So, for example, think about, have you ever had a client or a business partner or a mentor or anyone tell you, like, you are absolutely amazing and I know you're going to do really big things in life? Right? I think most people have probably been heard that. They've heard that from someone. And when you hear it, you're just kind of like, meh, yeah, sure. I don't know, whatever, I guess. But then you like are on social media and you're scrolling and you see a comment that someone made to someone. They're like, "You're amazing, and I think you're gonna do such good things in your life." And you're like, how come no one tells me that?" And it's like someone told you that a couple weeks ago, but you didn't value it because you don't value yourself, right?
Right.
It's like perceived value is very, very different. It's like we have to remember that when we're moving, we play really small because we think no one cares, no one thinks that we're valuable. No one is going to care until we make this certain amount of money. No one's going to care until we're this certain amount of rank, and that is not true. Your
Right.
energy of like embodying who you want to be is what is magnetizing to other people. So this is what me and Tara are always talking about in the beginning. When we started our high ticket businesses or low ticket businesses, people got into it because we were like, we have the thing, we know where we're going with this. Even though we haven't closed a sale yet, you want to be here with us. That energy is what creates the magnetism, and that's what we have to remember. I think people forget.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it kind of goes hand in hand too. Like, like let's say you're in a relationship or whatever. A lot of people will lose themselves because they're so fixated and focused on the man, right? That they're just like, everything is for them 100%. And then let's say they break up with them or they cheat on them and they're like, oh my God, like, why could you do this to me? Like, I would have done anything for you. And it's like, stop focusing on him and start putting all of that love and attention into yourself. That becomes sexy. That becomes magnetizing. That what becomes attractive to other men when you are just confident, you know who you are, right? You know what you offer, and you don't need to like prove yourself or show yourself to anybody because they can already see that in you no matter
Yeah.
what. And this is something that I did like growing up because I didn't have a dad growing up, and my mom was sick, and then she passed away when I was 16. So I felt like I would get into relationships where I know it's bad to say, but like knew I was the prize, I guess. And because I just didn't want, like, I felt like I wasn't good enough for like certain guys. Um, and I just think that like it comes down to the fact of, when you lower yourself because you don't look at yourself as a certain way, you get yourself involved in situations that suck the life out of you, right? So you want to always know and understand that if you want people to see the value in you, you need to radiate to others that I know who I am, I know what I have to offer, and that's what makes people want to know more about you or be magnetized to you. And I think people get that so mixed up. And so, I would cook for them. I would do their laundry for them. I would da da da. And it's like, why am I doing wifey duties when I'm a girlfriend?
Bro, I don't even do that stuff when I'm a wife.
Right. But you know what I'm saying,
No,
right?
yeah, I know.
Like, and I don't know, there's a saying that says, why are they gonna buy the whole pig when they get the bacon for free?
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? But it's true. Like, why, like, and that's not even just with men, that's just with people in general. Like, if you are like most people, like, if you're going over the top and they're not accepting and like expecting anything back, people are gonna take. Most
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
So stop focusing your energy in looking for the validation of how others perceive you, and just show up as how you perceive yourself.
yeah. No, I think it's funny that we're talking about this because I actually did on the daily last night and did like a 25-minute voice note on a lot of this. And it was like embodiment. And like it was really about speaking to your ideal buyer, but it all comes back down to this. If you want to attract your ideal buyers in business, you want to grow a successful business, you have to own your power.
Yeah.
You cannot dilute your voice, your power, your mission, and your vision in fear of perceived value of people who don't even fucking matter. And
Right.
where people are getting it so twisted is we're so scared to show up authentically as who we are online because what are these people going to think? What are these
Mhm.
people who aren't even my ideal buyer, who I don't even want to work with in business? What are they going to think?
Yep.
The answer is who the F cares what they think? It doesn't
Literally.
matter. But you can notice probably you catching yourself. And I see this as I'm coaching my clients and noticing like I'm reading their content and it is so watered down. And I'm reading their content and it sounds like a advertisement or it sounds just like G or chat GPT because
Yeah.
you're trying to like appease
Do you want to leave? Do you want to quit your 9 to 5 job? Like, it's very like
it's very
jammed out.
advertising, right? It reminds
Yeah.
me of like a billboard.
Right.
And that's what we're doing. And the reason we do that is because we're not owning who we are. We're not
Right.
owning what matters to us, what's important to us, what's fun for us, what we care about, how we talk, how we look, how we act, how we anything. And when we water down who we are to try to appease the masses, to try to talk to everyone in our content, we talk to no one.
Yep.
You have an ideal buyer, the people who are going to buy from you, who you should want to buy from you, right? You have that person in mind. And you should be talking to them every single day in your content, that ideal person only. And if you're looking at your content and you're like, ooh, but what if I say this and it draws the line in the sand for these people? Or what if I say this and it does this for these people? Like, who cares?
Right.
No
Because if does
one cares.
is that what you believe? Like, is that a hill that you're willing to die on? Then why do you care what they're gonna think? Because then you're being fake.
Or if you're trying to sound so perfect that you end up sounding like an advertisement. People don't want that on social media. People want real, raw,
They're
authentic. They
craving
want
that.
to connect with you. That's why you guys like my TikTok that went like
I
kind of
was
viral.
literally going to say that's why TikTok is what it is because people were tired of the curated Instagram.
They're over it. They want to connect. And it's like the TikTok that I had that went a little viral last week or the week before or whatever.
Mhm.
I literally made it no makeup, hat on, about to walk into the gym. 4 minutes before I walked into the gym, threw it up, went to the gym. Like super not put together. But when we try to script who we are, we try to really figure out like, ooh, but how should I say this so it sound like you trying to sound so elegant on social
Yep.
media is repelling your ideal buyer.
That's
Like
exactly it.
you trying to sound, affluent and beautiful and like so deep and whatever,
And
your
you're
ideal buyer
trying
doesn't
so
care.
hard to do that. Like it's not even flowing easily and effortlessly. Like you're actually like trying to do that. That's when it doesn't perform the best.
Exactly. Now, if you are that way, right? Like my mentor that I work with, she's very deep, but she's like,
Oh,
that is her brand. She's
right.
wisdom, deep, see things in a different way. But like, that's
But she's
her.
like that on and offline.
Exactly. That's just who she is. But a lot of people on social media aren't that way, right?
Right.
Like I am not. I write all over the place, but
Me
I
too.
also write my content and speak in my content how I would when I'm talking to Tara or how I would when I'm talking to someone else, right? It's like it's my voice, it's who I am. But the bottom line of this whole tangent that I just went on was if you want to build a successful business online and actually stand out as a category of one in the social media space, you have to own your power. And
Yes.
I know, like me and Tara just went through a fifth line mastermind, and we learned through that mastermind that like we weren't even owning our power to the full
No,
capacity. And
no,
you guys know how we are. And so I know that the average person is not owning their power. You are not owning your voice. You're trying to sound perfect. You're trying to appease everyone. You're trying to talk to everyone. Like you're trying to sound different. And if you're doing that, you are literally repelling your ideal buyers. So we have to
100%.
own who we are.
Yep. 100%. 100%. Yeah, guys, start embodying the person that you desire to be, right? So like let's even say, you desire to be a different version of yourself, right? Like you're like, I kind of like grew up and I was a little rough around the edges. I really didn't know how to like, tap into my feminine and, be like more classier, more feminine or whatever. And you want to do that. But you don't just wake up one day and start being like that. You need to start embodying that, right? Maybe listen to audiobooks or podcasts of how to start embodying that feminine version of yourself where you walk into a room and there's all eyes on you, where maybe you need to learn how to start like speaking slower and like walking slower and like doing things with more like intention and things like that. You've got to start embodying that version of yourself to be able to start doing it. And so this is a concept that is in all areas of life, but for some reason when it comes to business, people like can't, it's harder for them to understand how to do that.
Well, I think it's like, so we have to think of what we can do outside. People, okay. People think it's, okay, I'm creating a piece of content. How should I embody this version of me? But this is like a lifelong thing of every area of your life.
Right.
So for me, some of the things that I liked to do in the beginning and I still do today, like every now and then when I think about like really stepping into a next version is instead of going through the drive-through and getting my coffee, I'll go to like one of the fancy coffee shops nearby. Well, me, I love coffee, right? And so I'll get like where I can get a beautiful latte in a mug with the art on it, right? And I'll sit in the beautiful like coffee shop and I'll sip my coffee and I'll like think about attracting the things that I want to attract, right? Or I'll have me and my husband, we'll go out to like a really nice steakhouse and we'll go early so we can sit at the bar and get mocktails and, or go sit at like a beautiful hotel that smells so fucking good, it's like luxury couches everywhere and it's like sit there and just like watch the people come in and out, just like be in that vibe. Like you have to go put yourself in situations where
Mhm.
you want to be and where you think you could be. Like me, heels. I never used to wear high heels, but I always
Put
wanted to be a
yourself
girl.
where you see yourself.
There you go. There's a new slogan. Dude, we should put that on a shirt. Anyway, like I used to want to wear heels because heels make me feel very feminine, but like I never wore heels my whole adult life until like 2 years ago. So then I like was wearing heels all of the time because I was like, I'm gonna be a girl who can walk in heels. So I was
Mhm.
wearing heels all of the time, everywhere. So it's like it's not just, oh, I'm creating content. How should I embody the $50,000 per month version of me who's creating content? It's like every area of your life. If you don't know, if you want to get into fitness because the $50,000 per month version of you exercises, like go sign up for a class and start talking and networking and community, building community with people there. Go to a different store. If you're like, oh, if I was making that much money, I would shop at this store. You don't have to go buy anything, but go walk around. Like go to where the luxury stores are for you. Mine's up in Portland and just go walk through Louis and YSL and Gucci. Just fucking peruse. Like you have to like get into it. It's like an active thing. And people
Mhm.
aren't doing that. They think it's like I'm creating content, how should I show up? But it's
Yeah.
like a lifelong evolution, like building it
Mhm.
takes intentionality,
No, it 100% does. And like we always say, surround yourself with five, 5 millionaires, you'll become the six. And it's just like our parents used to say that, you know, you run around with these friends, and even if you're not doing what they're doing, you're still going to be classified as that's how people see you because birds of a feather flock together. So you've got to put yourself where you see yourself. Like for me, I'm going to be getting a condo in Miami and I'm going to be putting myself out there, right? Because I'm going to be networking out there and I'm meeting my husband out there, guys. All right. So I'm going to have to be going out by myself because I don't know anyone out there. So I'm going to have to be going out by myself and going to coffee shops or maybe going out to happy hour by myself. But that is my goal, is to actually meet somebody out there. So I'm going to have to put myself in situations to make that happen. If I want to meet somebody, how am I going to meet somebody sitting at home? No, I've got to be a woman that wants to go out and meet other people so that I can meet someone.
Well, it's
But
like
it's like I
you
said,
could also like go to open houses and
right,
meet, if you want to like embody like if you're like, I want to buy a dream home one day, you can go to open houses for free. You could go test drive expensive ass cars
right.
without buying a car. Go look at it, right? Like how can you play in that reality that you want to call in more?
100%. Even if you want, like, let's say your dream is to buy a house, like I did this when I was living in my 800 square foot apartment. Okay. I was like, okay, if I was somebody who was buying, like, was a homeowner or was going to buy a house, like, what would I do? You want to know what I started doing? Started cleaning out everything, started throwing things out. Like, I'm getting ready to move. So I started throwing things out, getting stuff together. I started like picking out paint samples, bedroom sets. Like I was literally getting into the energy and the vibe of becoming a homeowner. Like you've got to do, and then I became one, like literally a few months later. So you've
Mm.
got to start doing things like that. And so make sure, like, when you hear the word embodiment, that you know, like, yeah, that's something that I'm constantly doing and working on every day. Like working on yourself, embodiment is a part of working on yourself, growing yourself. Even me, I'm like, okay, the woman that makes, 3 to 5 million dollars every single year, like, how does she act? What does she do? So when certain things arise, normally if I would give my energy to that or whatever, I'd be like, if I was somebody who's making through, would I even waste my energy on something like that? No, I would not even do that. So let me not do that, actually. Like little things like that. We've got to start, you know, embodying that. And so I want you to drop in the comments if you are going to start working on your embodiment so we can start holding ourselves accountable
Actually, and
together.
also like let us know what you're gonna do to start embodiment. Like me,
Yeah.
you guys, I am trying to embody a very different version of me. And so like I do plan to go to a really nice hotel and have like I don't, drink, but like a mocktail and stuff. I do want to be a homeowner for a dream home. And so, I'm looking at like furniture and things that I would want. And we are doing like spring cleaning and getting rid of the garage, going through the garage and all of that good stuff. And fun fact, you guys, manifestation fucking works. I don't care who you are or what you
Oh,
say.
well.
Like me and my husband were talking the other day. We were on a walk this weekend with our kids, and we were walking down our cult. We live in a cul-de-sac. We were walking down the road, and we started talking about. It was probably like 5 years ago. So one of the things that me and Christopher do, because it helps us, like we just like doing it, is we love driving around the neighborhoods of like the homes that we want to buy one day.
Yes.
Like we just love looking and just be like, oh my God, could you imagine this? That like that's just like one of our favorite things to do. And we've been doing that for years and years and years. And we were talking about how like 5 years ago we were doing that and we drove down this cul-de-sac. We totally forgot, but we drove down this cul-de-sac and I remember driving down it and being like, it'd be so fucking cool to live in one of these houses one day. Like they're so big and beautiful compared to like we were living in a daylight basement at the time. 5 years later, we live in one of those houses. Now, obviously, we do that in a lot of quite a bit of neighborhoods, but like this specifically, this random cul-de-sac that honestly, if you drive through town, you wouldn't even know where to go because it's kind of like behind and in the back, and then down a gravel road, and then there's like this cul-de-sac. We're like 5 years later, we live
That's
in
wild.
that house, So it's like it's a fun like thing that you can do to really play in that energy, and the more you can play in that energy, the more it feels real. So when you're sitting in a really nice hotel drinking a glass of wine or whatever, it's like you don't it's not faking it. It's like I'm
Right.
actually here.
Right.
Like I'm here.
I'm here. I'm in this hotel.
I put
And,
$20 in the
your brain doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie. It only knows exactly what you tell it. That's it. So you can literally trick your mind into what it is that you want. But if we want our reality to change, then we have to change, like, the way that we see things, view things. If we get annoyed at other people's success, why would we think that we're going to be blessed with success? If we get annoyed at, women who are put together all the time and this and that, why would we think that we were? Like, it can't be like you want something, but then you like are against it and repelling it all day long. You're not gonna receive that. So we can go on for hours about embodiment because there's just so many facets and layers to it. But start with the person you want to be, the business owner that you want to be, the type of business that you want to have, the type of people that you want to work with. That's another thing, the type of people that you want to work with. And it will happen. The least resistance that you have, the faster it will come.
Ooh, yeah. But again, if you feel like, oh, I'm faking it, that's never really gonna be me, all of those kinds of like negative thoughts around it, you won't attract it. You
No,
attract what you are, you attract who you are, you attract what you believe, and you can't like there's a difference between like manifesting in the realm of like possibility and potentiality where it's like I want that. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I think it can happen one day. Like I don't know. I don't know if I could believe that could even happen for me. That's a different energy than that'll never happen for me. You see
right.
the difference? Like, oh,
Yeah.
that'll never happen versus like, oh, I don't know if it'll happen, but like I don't know if that's even possible for me, but I'm open to it if it's possible for me.
Yeah, because it's like if it doesn't happen, your life doesn't change. It just doesn't happen. But if it does happen, your entire life can change. But people are so fixated on disappointment. Who cares? Your life isn't going to change. So what? You want it to happen, but then it doesn't happen. And to be honest with you, 10 years in the game, I have not met a single person who has put their heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears and consistency into their business that was not successful. I haven't met a single one yet.
No, because the only way you fail is if you quit.
So
Mic
with
drop.
that being said, thank you so much for coming to another week of Tuesday Tips from the Top. We absolutely love sharing our heart and, just all of the things that we've been through and how we perceive and see things with you guys to just help you to, grow, evolve, receive all the things that you desire, because it is your birthright to have everything that you desire. But the reason why we don't get the things that we want is because we don't believe it, or we do not break our conditioning that we had growing up, that we saw through our parents and all of the other things. I had to break that a lot with money and situations and all of that, because this was not anything, my life today is not anything that I saw on a daily basis. I had to change who I was as far as the way that I perceive things to have what I have today. So if I can do it, literally anyone can.
Yeah, anyone can. And like we said in the very beginning, you guys, if you want to keep diving deeper with us, you love having us in your ear every day, make sure to join on the daily. We have so much fun in there. We're
We
going to
do.
link that below. And then if you haven't joined Playbook to Millions yet and you want an affiliate option and a way to learn from us on how to do marketing, branding, creating content, sales, all of the good stuff, make sure to hop into Playbook to Millions as well. We will be having our first coaching call this month for that container. Well, not really container program.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we will drop those in the description below, and then we will see you guys on Thursday for another brand new episode.
Yes, yes. Have amazing day, you guys, and we'll talk to you later.